Alright, so just load a new piece of water soluble stabilizer onto your hoop and stitch the die line for the back side of the suitcase. Okay, so now that we have the die line, what we're going to do next is we are going to take our short end pieces and we're going to lay them with the felt side up, and I'm just flipping over the edge here, looking at that tack. You can see the stitching on this line that it's going to line up right there on that, and then I'm just going to tape this in place so it doesn't move. Like that. You can even put another piece. We just don't want this to move at all. We want it to be very secure. Okay, and now we are going to stitch a tack down line for these two edges to secure them to the stabilizer. Okay, I didn't forgot to video that part, but it's stitched here and here, and it's about 1 millimeter away from the final tack down line on the sides. So there's going to be a heart that's going to stitch on the back of this eventually, and it's going to point up like this. And what we want to do is you can look at your file and see which way the heart will be facing. The heart is on the back side of the suitcase. And so if I could use a Sharpie marker here. Sharpie marker. Here we go. So if your heart is like this in your file, then what you want to do is you want to put this plain piece here at the bottom. So that's going to be the next tack down line. And we're gonna, now you probably have a flatter hoop than I do. Mine is not so flat. But that's where this piece is going to go. And we're gonna tape that in place, and it'll be tacked down so it's not going anywhere. And then for the other side, we are going to have this piece taped in place, like so. And then that's going to get tacked down. So that's what we're going to do now, is we are going to, the handle is going to go on the upper, so you know, the arches on the heart, and then where the point is, you're going to put the plain piece of long side fabric. This is the bottom of our suitcase. This is the top of our suitcase if you're carrying it. So let's tape those in place and then tack them down. Okay, so I just taped the handle down here and taped this side as well. And here's the heart, there's the handle, here's the bottom. Got our two sides. And you can even flip it over to the back side to make sure that everything is aligned about 1 millimeter away from the tack down lines on these panels. So the die line is about 1 millimeter from the tack down line on each panel. Alright, so now we're just going to tack down those other two pieces. Okay, so now all of these are attached to the stabilizers. And now we can put our piece of fabric for the bottom right like this, and now we are going to stitch the die lines for the blue stripes that are on the back side. Okay. So now we're just going to cut some pieces of vinyl to go over these die lines. Okay, so I just went ahead and trimmed along the tack down lines and just got some of the excess off. I didn't cut it too close there. And so now we'll stitch the die line for the heart. Okay, so now that that die line has stitched, now we're just going to cover that with a piece of vinyl and we'll stitch the tack down. You could also use felt or something that doesn't fray. Okay, so I just went ahead and trimmed around this, and I didn't film it because my scissors are not very sharp and it was taking me a long time. I will add a satin stitch to this, to the final file, so it looks a little bit more finished in case you're using felt or something like that. Okay, so we're just going to flip the hoop over to the reverse side, and we're going to take our piece of Pellon, and we're just going to tape it in place here so that this won't move, and just get it fairly centered there. Like so. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to put this fabric over top of that. This is the inside of our suitcase, so you should be seeing all inside pieces. So I'll go ahead and tape this down. Very well. Alright, and now we are ready to do the final tack down. So we'll just flip the hoop back over to the front side, and now a tack down stitch is going to go all the way around. Alright, so it should look like this when the final tack down stitches. You're going to have some overlapping, and all we're going to do is we're just going to trim around this final tack down line, just cutting this felt and these blue pieces for the handles. So we're going to do that on the front side, and then we're going to turn around and do that on the back side and treat it just like an applique, cutting it really, really close, about 1 millimeter all the way around. Don't cut into the stitching. Okay, so I went ahead and trimmed all around here as close as I could, and here's the scraps from that. And now we're going to turn it over and do the same on the reverse side. Okay, and then I'm also going to go around and remove the stabilizer. This is a cutaway water sealable stabilizer, so I can't tear it easily. Now we can start to see what our suitcase is going to start looking like. This is the front. So what I want you to do is I want you to actually fold this as best as you can and just store it somewhere with something heavy on top so that it can have a chance to take form a little bit before we're working with it again. And just kind of work with each piece, pressing it each way so that we got a good crease going. It should look just like this.